collectors. In tonight's video, we're going to be making a fall card, and we're going to be using the Fond of Autumn polymer stamp set, and we'll be making our own designer series paper using the Autumn Bouquet dies and the bronze foil paper for the background paper. Before we get started, I want to let you know of the special going on right now. Now's the time to get more free product. You can customize the starter kit. Pick out $155 worth of product and pay only $99. I'll have more information toward the end of this video. Hi, I'm Joan Heberlein, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I created this video for Joan Simple Paper Crafts, found right here on YouTube. If you're new here, I want to thank you for stopping by, and if you're a returning guest, welcome back. Be sure to subscribe by clicking the subscribe button below. That way you won't miss when I post a video, which is typically once a week. Now give me a few seconds so I can turn the camera down and we can get started. Here's the card we're going to be making tonight. We're going to use the Fond of Autumn polymer stamp set. And we're going to use the Autumn Wishes, taken right from here. And we're using this stamp to adorn it right here. Then we are going to use the Peaceful Moment stamp, Thinking of You with All My Heart, for the inside sentiment. Then we've got our dies we're going to be using. We're going to use this die right here to create our background paper. And we're using the copper foil. And then we're going to use this die right here to cut this apart. This was one whole stamp, but this die will cut it into these individual components. And then we're going to use our seasonal labels dies, and this is the one we want to use for our sentiment on the front of the card. What we'll do first is get all our stamping done. So we want to stamp our inside sentiment, our outside sentiment, and then these right here. And we're going to do that first so that can dry. We're going to use Memento ink for that. And here's our block. I should be probably putting this in our Stamparatus, but I think we can get by with it tonight. Just got to make sure I got it all on there. Okay. I'm just going to lay it down here. And I'm going to press and pull it straight up. Okay, that looks pretty good. And I'm just going to set that aside to dry. And I'm going to close up my Memento ink. We are done with this. The last thing I want to do is get my elbow in that. So our next stamp is going to be done using our Early Espresso. And we'll just do our inside sentiment first. And I'm checking to make sure that I don't have any ink around on the red rubber, because that will probably get on my card base if I had that. And I'm just going to pull it straight up. And we'll set that aside to dry. Then the last one is our Autumn Wishes. I need to make sure I get that off there. Good. Sometimes when it sticks like that, I can't pull it straight off, and then I get it blurred. So we're done with this too, so I'm putting that away. And I am just going to grab my stamps and scrub to scrub our stamps. So we don't want to put our stamps away dirty. And I'm just going to stamp off on this paper any excess ink. That makes it a lot easier for me because it keeps the scrubbing a lot cleaner. I don't have to clean it as often. And I just need to give it a quick spray here. And I'm going to spray it on this side because that has a water droplet. And this side has the sun, so that means we're going to dry it here, and then this is the scrubbing portion. Okay, next we want to do is fold our card base, and I don't have one cut right now, so I'm going to just take out my trimmer, and we're going to make 2 cards at the same time. So when I cut card bases, I always make 2 cards. I cut them, I do the scoring part first, because my trimmer allows me to do that. I've got all the blades on here. Comes with the 2 blades. The dark one is for cutting and the lighter one is for scoring. And I have a 3rd blade on here that says glitter on it, because this is one that I've used for quite some time, and so it doesn't cut real clean. But if I'm cutting glitter paper, I like to use that instead of using this one here, because that'll just dull this one. So I use this one just for glitter or foils even. We want to score this at 4 1/4, or that would be 10.8 centimeters. And I'm going to use the lighter blade to do the scoring. And I don't even have to take these off from here. That's really great that they fit in the same track. Then I'm going to turn the paper and I'm going to measure it at 5.5 inches or 14 centimeters. And I'm going to cut that in half. So that is half of the 11 inches. And now I have 2 card bases. So what you want to do next is fold and burnish. And when you look at this, you can see how it's scored. There's an indent or a valley. You want to fold away from that score line. And this is the mountain side, so we want to fold away from there. And we'll just take our scoring tool and burnish it. And I'm going to burnish it on both sides to help get a nice crisp edge. Then I'm going to take my basic white paper that was stamped. This is a 4 inches by 5 1/4 or 10.2 centimeters by 13.3 centimeters. And we're going to put some glue on here. And we're going to use our multi-purpose glue. But I have it in this bottle here with this needle nose tip. And that's so I can get into fine areas. I could easily use this on this piece of paper, but as long as I'm going to be using this later on, I will use this to do this paper as well. I start in the middle so that if a big glue glob comes out, it won't mess up everything. And then I'm going to put this down with leaving 1/8 of a border all the way around. And I'm going to take my scoring tool again and just score it there. That helps flatten all the glue bubbles. Then next we want to do is our foil. So we're going to take our foil sheets. Let me put this aside. So this is a piece of adhesive sheet, and it's cut at 3 7/8 inches by 5 1/8 inches, or that'd be 9.8 centimeters by 13 centimeters. And you want to peel it. I don't know if you can see there's a little sheet. It's cut there. You want to peel it on the other side where it's solid. So you want to have that on the paper once you get this down. Now I need to get this started. Let me get my take your pick tool. This is another good reason to use a take your pick tool. And we can get that, there we go. So when you're pulling this off, this part here is not sticky. As you can see, the other side does have some stick to it. So I am going to put this down onto my foil on the back side. already got this down, so I'm going to just put this down here. I don't think I cut it right. I've got it hanging over on the edge, and I do not want that. So let me just trim this real quick before we go get it stuck anywhere. And I'm going to use these scissors. They have a blue handle on it, so then I know I can cut paper that has adhesive on it, and I won't gummy up my other scissors. I must not have finished cutting this foil. I'm going to finish cutting this foil. We want to make it, what was my measurements? 5 1/8. So let's get my trimmer out again. 3 7/8. And I'm going to check and make sure that I only have 5 1/8 here. And I don't. Okay. Now we should be good to keep going with that. So I've got this started, and so I'm going to put this down where we left off. I'm going to turn it here so I can see. And I'm going to take the next section, because there's going to be 3 sections here. And it might just keep going. Nope, didn't want to keep going. And then the last section. There. Now, as you can see, it has 1/16 of an inch on the borders here. And so when I put it through the cut and emboss machine, it's probably going to push it out a little bit and flatten it a little bit more. Hopefully 1/16 of an inch is enough, I think. So let me try that. So we're going to put this on here and run it through the cut and emboss machine. And give me a second to do that. Okay, so I've got the first one done. I'm going to take that off, and then we're just going to put it on this other side here and run it through the cut and emboss machine again. Okay, so here's the other side done. And I forgot to tell you that between the 2 times I did it, I had to poke some of these out because it was stuck in there, and that wouldn't give me a clear cut. We have the paper on the back here. We want to peel that off. And I'm just going to take a section right here. And if you pull it, it should take the little things off with it. But it's not quite doing that. And I didn't expect it to, because the practice card didn't do it either. I'm thinking that working with the foil, it's not going to work as nicely. And so what you want to do is you want to poke those out. You could have used one of these brushes on it, but being foil, I didn't want to scratch it. And going on this side, it doesn't really want to go through either. I can't do it now because I've got the glue on there. What I find is I have to poke it through. But I also found that it does kind of stick to your finger. So you can get quite a few of them out by just rolling the paper and then pulling it that way. Rather than have you sit here and watch me do that, I've already have one already done. So I am just going to put this aside, just trying to get all those ones off of my fingers. So we're going to put this right on the front of the card, and I'm going to leave 1/8 of an inch for a border on all 4 sides. And I just want to make sure that I have it going correctly, and I'm glad I did that because I want to put some glue on here before we get on here. So I am going to take my silicone mat and I'm going to just put glue around the edges. Glue down here. I'm trying to see where I left off. So there's just a little line there where they're divided. But so it's mostly around the edges that I just need to go. The rest has glue in there. Now the silicone mat I use to help keep my surface clean. So if I get glue on here, that's going to dry and then I can just rub it off. When it dries, it'll be clear. The mat also will prevent the Stampin' Seal and Seal Plus from sticking to it. So it keeps our work surface clean. Okay, now we're going to take the front of the card. So if I just flip this over, it's this surface right here. And we're going to put our card down and leave 1/8 of an inch all the way around. And let me see if I have a... don't want to smear the glue. So next we want to do is our adornment here. That is our leaves. So get our leaves back in here. Now we want to color these leaves and then we will cut them out. So let me get my Stampin' Blends. The first ones we're going to use is a light soft succulent, and I'm just going to show you how to do a little bit of here. So we've got these leaves here on this section, and we're going to do the entire leaf in the light soft succulent. There's 2 leaves there, so I'll do both of them. And what we want to do is then come in with the dark soft succulent, and I'm using the nub tip on these, and I'm going to go over that line that's down the center of the leaf, and then go over underneath the line, underneath the line. Then we're going to come back in with our light soft succulent and draw it from the dark portion into the light. And you do the same thing for these leaves up here on this section here, and these leaves here. And this flower we're not even going to use, so we're not even going to worry about that. So we do the same thing for all of those leaves. Go in with the light first, and then half with the dark, and then come back with the light. Then you want to take our Wink Stella, and you're going to go over the center of each of these balls. And if it's a new Wink Stella, you're going to want to squeeze it until it just fills up down here. And then you probably want to go over the center here because it often comes out with a big blob first. And you don't want that to be in the center of your card. And when you need a little bit more, you just give it another little squeeze. And there's a blob coming out, so I'm going to go over here and have it come out onto this rather than onto the card. I think we're good there. Then I think the next one you would want to do is our acorns. I'll show you how to do a couple of the acorns. We're going to start with the light Cajun Crage, and we're going to do the top part of the acorn. And I'm just going to do 1 acorn. So I'm just filling in all those little circular pieces of the acorn. And then I'm going to come back with the dark Cajun Crage and just go over the lines there, just to give it a little bit of shading. And then you want to come in with the light, but I think it's a little too soon, because if you go too soon, it'll turn into one muddy color. And so I'm going to go and use my light pale papaya and do the entire acorn base. And then we'll do dark pale papaya, and I'm going to go over these strokes right here they're shading strokes. So we'll do that. And now we're going to let it dry a little bit. So let's come back with our light Cajun Craze and go over our acorn. And we want to just blend that in. So that's what you need to do to all those acorns. There's 3 of them there. And then we're going to come back with the light pale papaya and come from the dark into the light. Then you're going to take our color lifter and we're going to lighten it on this side of the acorn. And that's going to lighten up and it'll give us shading for that acorn. And then the next thing we want to do is the leaf. And we're going to start with the light one. So we're going to use, gotta see which one we go first. We're going to use this one here, Natural Tone 500. And we'll use the bullnose tip. And we're going to go all the way around the leaf. I'm just outlining it because when I scribble, I don't want to go outside of the line. And so that's just going to give me the outline and then I can scribble inside. And you can scribble and it won't leave any streaks because it blends so well. Some markers don't blend it like this. And so I wouldn't be able to do that. You'd be able to see the directions of my strokes and everything. Then you're going to come back with the Natural Tone 400. And we're going to go right down the middle. And you want to do your branches too. So that's going to go right from there all the way to the tip of this leaf. And then we're going to do these each acorn. And then do the rest of the leaves. Now if I had gone out of the line, I could use my color lifter, and that would, what you'd want to do is you'd want to come in from the opposite direction. So if let's say it went out here, you'd come in and you push the ink back inside the line. But I don't have any spots right now to show you. That's the best I can do there, is just walk you through that. Then we'll come with our Natural Tone 500, and I am going to use the broad tip that looks like a paintbrush and just go over that line again. And that's going to kind of blend it out a little bit. And then the next thing is you'd want to do your dark soft succulent on these swirls right here. And I'm just going to right over the top of them. You could leave them, but I wanted to fill them in. And then there's one on the opposite side you can do as well. I've done the rest of this and we didn't have to do it. And what I did is I cut this out with this, and that separated all those individual pieces. And I used my cut and emboss for it. So we've got our 3 different pieces right here. And we're going to use dimensionals to put them onto the card. And I want to use the big ones, and I might use some of those small ones, but we'll put one on each tip. And actually, let's use the small one. I think those will fit in there a lot nicer. Right there. And we'll do one right here. Right here. And I'll put one in the middle. We'll use that big one in the middle. And we'll use our Take Your Pick tool to take those paper backings off. And that will wrangle them all up. And then we just want to set this right down here. I'm not setting it down all the way because I may need to adjust it once I put these on. So let's do the small ones again. And I'm going to do 4 on that one. And we'll do probably 4 here as well. I'm not sure. And we can get 5 on this one. Okay, and let's use this. And let's see if we can't get that in there if I left enough room. Yeah, we We seem to have left enough room. And we'll do the opposite side. And I want to put that underneath here a little bit. That seems to be sticking out because I have a dimensional right underneath here. See if I can't get that dimensional taken off. So I'm going to use my spatula and see if I can't pull that dimensional out. And maybe I can adjust it one way or the other. And this one has paper on it still, so that's not going to work there. At least it helped me to pull this off because... Alright, so let's get this under here. There we go. I'm going to use a little glue on that. And one last thing is to put our outside sentiment. And we can use the large dimensionals for this. We'll just put 3 on here. 1, 2, and 3. I need to flip this back around. Forgot about that again. Not too well on the dimensionals. And I'm just going to huff this one a little bit. I want to be able to reuse this one. So I can put that one down here. And then we'll just put some glue up here. Because it's layered already, we don't need the dimensional there. Alright. Let me get my other card in here. I hope you like this project as much as I did. As you can see, any sentiment would work with this card. Why don't you give it a try? Now, if you've enjoyed today's video, would you do me 2 favors? Click the thumbs up emoji. That means you like it. And would you share it on social media with your crafting friends and pin it to Pinterest? These actions will help me to keep sharing my ideas with other crafters for free, and I'd really appreciate that. Be sure to hit the subscribe button below so you won't miss any future videos. If you have any questions, be sure to contact me. I'm here to help in any way that I can. And if you don't have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, I'd love to be your demonstrator. Just reach out to me. If you'd like to place a Stampin' Up! Order or would like a catalog, hop over to my website where you'll find the Shop Now button. To shop with me, you'll need to go to joanheberlein.stampinup.net. It's a fabulous time to join Stampin' Up! New team members will get even more free product in their customizable starter kit. Between October 4th and October 31st, those who sign up will get $155 worth of product for only $99. Plus, you'll get free business supplies, free shipping, and all the fun being a part of Stampin' Up! Just contact me if you want more information. Mark your calendars. I'll be back Saturday, October 15th at 7 p.m. Central Time. I hope you'll be here to join me. Thanks so much for being here with me tonight, and I look forward to next time. Bye for now, and don't forget to subscribe.